What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Retro Ground podcast. In front of me, we have something different, not related to video games. Yuemi Custom Shops. For those of you who don't know, she does these custom Pokeball and Game Boy. What would you call them?
I'd call them terrariums.
Terrariums. All right. Introduce yourself, and you probably do it better. And tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Yuei. I am the artist and crafter behind Yuemi Custom Shop. So at my, crafting station, I create Pokeball terrariums and other, Nintendo Pokemon-related artsy crafts. So as most of you know, Pokeballs, obviously, are the little balls that Pokemon go into, and I make them really pretty with the visual kind of inspiration of like succulents and like houseplants, all that stuff. I also recently expanded into Game Boy terrariums, which is like a nice little change.
Nice. And my first question to you would be, how did the idea about making these Pokeballs come about? Like, how did that start?
Oh yeah, so this is actually one of the most frequently asked questions from me.
Okay.
So I used to be obviously a Pokemon fan from like 90s, 2000s, you know.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
Really hard to pick, so I have to go with between Luxray and Cottony. Okay. Very different spectrums.
Okay. I was gonna say it probably has to be one of the starters, but that's the first time I ever got that, because everyone either goes Charmander, Pikachu, Squirtle,
Fair.
Bulbasaur, like the starter ones. But that's fun. That's different.
Yeah.
So you said that the idea came about just starting this business just to make a side hustle, side money, or
originally was kind of it's funny when I say people don't believe me, but I started this business, Yuemi Custom Shop, painting anime jackets, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a whole totally different. But I ended up realizing that the love for Pokemon started coming back. This is during the pandemic, so I was getting back in my old roots is what you call it.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I could do something, with my art with Pokemon related things. And then I went online and I realized people started making these terrariums. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So why don't I also just, kind of hop on the trend, also do it with my own style. What also fueled this was, how in the old manga of Pokemon, they'd have just like the ball and then just the Pokemon sitting in it, looking all sad and lonely with nothing inside. And I was like, I can make that better. I can do something and make it not so, barren inside the little living habitat, because the Pokemon have to go out and fight the battles for the
owners. Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So is this like a full-time gig or a part-time gig?
Currently, it is part-time, but I do graduate from getting my master's degree in 2 months.
Oh, man.
So
that's
once
exciting.
I do, I would love to take this to full-time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, before I cut you off, what's your favorite Pokemon? So the idea just started out of nowhere? You just seen the trend of people just doing these Pokeball? You said you saw someone make some, right? Or where did you see someone making them?
I believe it was on YouTube. Someone was like, it was like this, I forgot their name, but they have like 3 people on the team and they make little cutesy crafts here and there, anime related usually. But it's kind of a mix. I always loved Pokemon, but I fell out of it growing up. And then during the pandemic, I got more into it, like, let's, go take a trip down memory lane. And I got into it, read the manga. I was like, oh, shoot, empty. And then I also saw online around the same time frame, maybe like a couple months, because I wasn't doing anything at home. And then I saw people do that, like make terrariums. I was like, oh my god, that's really cool. Why don't I also try to put my, crafting hand at this instead of doing jackets, because it wasn't doing super well.
Oh wow. So you were hand painting jackets?
Yes. Yeah.
No way.
I have a couple examples at the very bottom of my Instagram.
On your Instagram?
Yeah, at the very bottom.
Wow. How long was that taking you to paint them?
One jacket, maybe fastest was over maybe 5-6 hours of just consecutive painting, but sometimes I have to wait a day, because I did this back in Michigan during the winter, really cold, so I was just outside.
So you're originally from Michigan?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Also, you have to wait for it to cure, right? And before you can throw on the next layer.
Yeah, there's layers and everything. It was a lot, and I realized I'm not super good at painting. So I decided to kind of switch my trajectory.
Oh man. How many events do you have under your belt?
Ooh, let's see. I think roughly maybe 9 total events, a couple repeating, like yearly events. I started out at Capital City Comic Con in Michigan. Then as I graduated, as I gradually came to LA, I started doing more events here. Most notably, Anime Los Angeles, which is in Long Beach every January.
Okay.
I went to LA Comic Con too.
Wow. And how long have you been living in LA?
I came here in September 2022. Yeah.
And that's when you met Mason, or did you meet Mason in Michigan?
Oh, that's actually kind of a funny story.
Because I thought you've been living in LA for like your whole life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Low-key, I wish sometimes, but no, I met him about a year after I came to LA.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So do you like LA better than Michigan?
Some parts of it. The weather's
Sometimes,
nice.
huh?
Yeah.
I know. Sometimes it can get a little crazy. So out of all the Pokeballs that you've actually made, you know, these things look interesting. I was showing my wife. She's like, man, how long does it take you to build one, to make one completely from beginning to end?
So to make one Pokeball, it's kind of like, I call it river status. It's really hard to just make one from the beginning because I have to spray paint all the bases, like the bottom, as you can see, is like white. So I spray paint them in batches. Then after they're done, I make them in patches of like 4 to 6 Pokeballs. Roughly that can take anywhere from 2, 3, 4 hours to even overnight, because some of them have water effects in the Pokeballs, and that's made from silicon, and then that has to cure overnight and dry and all that stuff. But yeah, I kind of like that one. This is one of my older models. I'm having a sale on my shop right now. So. Yeah.
So in total, you would say like about like a whole day or less than a day?
Less than a day. Maybe.
Less than a day to make them?
Yeah, because right now on my desk, I posted to my story today, I have about 20 Pokeballs on my desk. That was the span of 2 days total, maybe hourly, I think.
So like
maybe.
10 a day?
Yeah, 10 a day, yeah.
Wow.
If I actually, sit down and lock in, I can make more. But
I see.
I got to get up and do all this stuff sometimes.
Yeah,
I also have my school and my other job, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Out of all of them that you've made, which one has been your favorite one that you're like, man, I wish I didn't sell that one?
Ooh, okay.
But if you can just pick one and you're like, oh, man, I regret selling that one. I should have kept it.
Oh, okay. There's 2 actually that I can just think of right now.
Yeah.
One of them is a commission I made about a year ago.
Okay.
It was an Espeon one, and the figure it was like hugging like a yellow pillow, and the person who ordered it, they wanted it like to be really pink, pastel, starry, and I had these little like resin charms of like the moon and the star and everything. It's on my Instagram somewhere if you scroll, but that was one of my favorite ones, probably because the color palette was just so perfect,
Wow.
Yeah. And then the other one, I believe it was I think it was a Vaporeon I made a couple years ago. It had like the water, I had a little stream coming through, and I had it split. And I had like a bunch of pink flowers, yellow flowers, and then a bunch of crystals on one side of it. I was like, that one's so pretty. I sold it though, but
Yeah, no, of course. That's funny. What's been also your favorite event that you've been a part of?
Ooh.
Your favorite event, you're like, man, this is such a great event.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you made a lot of money at the event, but I'm not. I guess aside from leaving that out, that you're just like, even if I didn't make any money, that event was so fun.
Probably Anime Los Angeles, because so that one is everyone just calls it ALA. It's in Long Beach every January, and I've been there a total of 3 years so far.
Oh wow,
which is super nice. Yeah. Besides the sales are great, obviously, but it is a 4-day con, which is kind of rare. Yeah, it's really long, and what's nice about the 4-day con is that they have new events every day. So if you say, you get the whole weekend pass, you can get everything. But if you can't come, there's always something new, like on a Friday or the Thursday, Sunday. Yeah. It's also a ribbon con. They have these ribbons to promote interactions between fan bases or people. Say, for example, I'm like, oh my God, I love your cosplay. It's like, thanks. Want a ribbon? Like, the ribbon is like a fandom related thing. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love that con. It's just everyone is so nice, supportive, and I just love seeing other artists. It's great.
So you said you've been to ALA 3 times?
Yes.
So when you were living in Michigan, you flew out?
No, I went there 2023, 2024, and 2025 this past January. So those 3 times, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
It was my second con after arriving in LA.
Got it.
Yeah.
Has there been a show where you're like, man, I didn't make any money,
oh
and
my
you
God.
lost money?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. This past summer was kind of a drought for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to this one event. It was hosted by Deco Car. They're really cool. I love their Itasha cars and everything. Super great. It's just the event was at the same time as Anime Expo.
Oh.
Yeah, and so that kind of sucked.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, it was only like a 1-day thing, and it was only issue was it was outdoors. I was alone. The sun was beating down on us and everything. Most artists packed up.
And left.
Yeah, and left. So it was kind of awkward.
Did you sell anything at all?
I only sold 2, and I only made back the booth fee. But I mean,
how much is each one, or does it vary?
It kind of varies. On the shop, usually it's about the same price as sell in store, between 70 to 75. Right now, the shop has a sale, so it's a little less.
Okay.
In person, I sell them for 70 each. It'll include the display stand, and I also give out some random stickers that I also drew.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. What about what's the biggest transaction you made? As far as like and like I'm not saying like over the span of the whole show, just like one customer comes in and hey, I want to.
Does it matter if he came back like twice?
No, that's the same. Yeah.
Same guy. Okay,
yeah, same
so
guy.
I was in Chicago actually. This was Anime Magic, and this person, he also ran a booth further down over there in the exhibit hall, and he came back and bought like 6 Pokeballs. He came back, he got 1, he came back like 30 minutes later, here's another one. I was like in shock. I was like, oh my gosh.
Were they for him, or was he reselling them?
For his family. Like he has like a bunch of nieces and nephews. He was like, yeah, they had like birthdays coming up, and I was like,
that's so cool.
I'll hook you up, bro.
Wow, how much did he spend, if you don't mind me asking?
This was like 2022, so I think it was over 400 total, I'm guessing. I did give him some discounts because, he kept coming back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, man, that's so cool. And what keeps you going as far as, just building them and making them? Is it the money, or is it that you just have a passion for just making them?
Passion, definitely. Growing up, I've always been like on the artsy side. I'm not super good at,
No, they look great. No, they look great. I saw them, and I showed my wife, and she's like, wow, she makes these? I'm like, that's what I said.
Oh.
Is there competition in this, or?
There is, actually.
There is?
Yeah, a lot of artists have their own styles and everything.
Yeah, question. Competition before you or after you? After you were in the scene, or after? Before you came in the scene, or after?
I guess it's regional, actually, I think. Because when I was in Michigan, there wasn't any because, it's Michigan. We don't really have anything super cool except Detroit. But after coming to LA, a lot of the terrarium artists that I've followed before, actually like kicking off my selling career, were based in LA or New York. So coming here, I actually made friends with a couple of them. There's another artist. She also does light up Pokeballs. They're really cool. She's a sweetheart. We go to a couple events together. Not together, but we'll see each other there. It's really nice. Yeah.
Oh wow, man. What about the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance? Is there competition in these type of styles, or?
I actually hasn't seen anyone in person that sells these Game Boys
online on Etsy. Do you sell on Etsy? You do,
no,
right? Yeah,
no, I just have that shop. I used to, but I switched it from Etsy to my personal shop because Etsy's fees can get a little high sometimes.
Oh, gotcha. But you don't have competition as far as people making these Game Boy Advance terrariums?
No, I haven't seen any in person. I know a couple people do online, but most people make it laying flat. That way it's like a display coming up from the Game Boy. I like mine where it's vertical. You can hang it on the wall.
Do these have little stands where people can stand them?
No,
or place them? Or
if you want to click on one of the photos,
click on one of them.
Yep.
Damien?
And then if you scroll to the end, it has a back photo. That's a hook right there that you can hang on the wall.
Oh, these go on the wall.
Yeah,
That's
if you don't have any like shelf space, yeah.
What about if someone wants to put like on a desk? Do you have like any stands?
You can do that.
Yeah?
I guess I could provide them. I just haven't bought them because they're primarily for the thing. But that's an idea I could do.
And this was just the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. That was just something that you were just like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try, and you just started doing these terrariums.
Yeah, the Game Boy is actually the most recent thing I've done. I think only like I started doing them in November. I think November, December, and obviously there were other artists who did them, but I've always wanted to like make it a little different,
Yeah.
And I was
that's cool.
a little afraid to start because it's something different out of like the norm. and I was afraid that, oh, what if it'll terrible, you know, what if it won't do well. But I started doing it, and I realized it's a breath of fresh air from the Pokeballs. Like I love doing both, but the Game Boy is like, I will go ham making the Game Boys. I'll just sit there pumping out Game Boys.
Oh wow, that is so cool. And what sells more, the Pokeball or the Game Boy, or does it depend on the expo?
I think it depends. For example, at Anime Night Mart, it's in the Westminster Mall. I sold more Pokeballs, but at ALA, I sold more. Well, same amount, but more Game Boys compared to the last event. Yeah.
Got it. And who would you say are your clients? Little kids, millennials, Gen Z?
Probably millennials and Gen Z, but more millennial, I think,
More
because of the
millennials?
nostalgia and all that. Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. And are those original Game Boys or they're like repros?
Those are the originals. So I get them from a, should I call them artist, I guess, called Handheld Legends. They're like collectors of retro gaming and everything, and they sell like refurbished and like I don't know the terminology for it, but like fixed up shells.
Oh, so they're just empty shell.
Empty shell.
And you buy them in bundles, or you buy them one at a time, or
usually in bundles. Yeah.
in bundles. That's cool.
Yeah. There's no real Game Boys harmed, which is good. I could not afford that.
I know. I was gonna say maybe a lot of gamers are like, bro, you took it apart.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
what most people say. They're always like, the game. And I'm like, nothing's harmed. Don't worry, you're good.
That is so cool. So do you think that these are becoming a hot sell?
I think so. Especially because, you know, like with art, naturally styles when I'm changing, improving, and I'll end up finding like something that's more of my flow,
That's a
or
cool
maybe
cube
taking like.
Yeah.
I actually just sold that one.
No way. Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow. And as a vendor, what are some of the best moments that you can remember? Maybe making a client happy or someone. What's your highlight as far as, you know, running your own business and doing this? What is a moment that you're probably like, I'm never gonna forget? Like, this was such a great moment for someone to buy a Pokeball or a Game Boy.
Honestly,
Terrarium.
favorite moment of not necessarily people buying it, but when they come over and just come and appreciate my stuff. Like, they don't even have to buy anything. They don't have to like, you know, take photos or anything. Just as long as they stop by and look at my stuff and just like, wow, these are cool, or oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
So
you just appreciate someone's coming to your booth, just
yeah,
saying, hey,
they don't
man.
have to buy anything. It just makes me so
Wow.
happy to get that validation and kind of like, you know, maybe I can make someone happy with my stuff.
Yeah. No, because these are great. Like, honestly, these are so. I've never seen anything like it, and you know, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have her on the podcast to talk about it. I mean, because Pokemon is so big, right? And everyone's into Pokemon right now, like TCG,
Oh, yeah.
video games. Like, I mean, we had an event this weekend, and someone just came and bought out all our Game Boy
Wow.
games, all of them.
Wow.
It's just, like I want them all. I'm like, all right, take them all. Like,
I'm not gonna stop you.
I'm not gonna stop you. Take them all. So, it's interesting to see, you know, how you build these from scratch. Where do you get your inspiration? What inspires you to, like, because they don't look dull, they don't look sad, they look happy, they look very alive, is what I'm trying to say. What inspires you to build them, or how do you pick the colors? How do you know the Cubone goes here? Do you kind of like, no, Charmander goes here, no, it doesn't look good? How do you come about that?
So for the figure, like where it's placed, you know how like when kids play with toys, kind of like they move it around. That's kind of what I do. I have the base. I'm like, here, there, not here, no, yeah. I kind of move it around here and there to like kind of just get like the overall like which way is it facing? Is it like, you know, right side, left side, or is it center, that kind of thing. For the color palette, honestly, I just go. I don't even think about it. I just kind of like,
maybe because you're like a natural artist, it just kind of clicks, right?
maybe.
Yeah. No,
Maybe,
I can see that because, like I said, the colors are vibrant, and they don't, because, you know, I've not these, but I've seen when people draw stuff, and sometimes when they're like, I don't want to say dark, but when they're a little like more punk rock, the colors are purple, like a dark color,
like muted tones,
yeah. But these are happy, you know.
Oh,
they look,
yeah.
they jump out. They're vibrant. They're not dull or like a sad color, like it's emo, or it's like a happy color. So that's why I told her, like, man, I want one of those. She's like, yeah, when you interview her, buy one off her. I was like, yeah, for sure. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so the color patterns are very vibrant and they're colorful.
Yeah, I try to like, cause you know how like I brought up like the manga with the Pokeballs in it, so they just look sad. They look, you know, dejected and kind of thrown aside. So I was like, make them happy, make them enjoyable.
Yeah, no, definitely. As a side question, who makes it better, Wingstop or Buffalo Wild Wings?
You know, it's funny. I just had this conversation with my husband because I've never actually had Wingstop.
No.
Yeah, I've never actually had Wingstop.
No way. Bro, take her to Wingstop, man.
Sometime I will. But
You just don't like Wingstop?
no, I like Wingstop. Also, she makes killer homemade wings. So it's kind of hard to want to go out. But also, I mean, B-Dubs is always a win because I also want her to do the hot wings challenge.
Yeah,
Mm.
I like the
Oh.
wild sauce, so it's like, yeah.
Man, so I guess it's Wingstop, right? Like, who makes it better? Oh, you've never been to any?
I've been to Buffalo, like what?
Oh,
B-Dubs,
Buffalo Wild
yeah.
Wings, not Wingstop.
No,
Right,
not
right.
Wingstop.
Okay,
I've been
okay.
to
So,
B-Dubs, yeah.
oh,
I mean, honestly, besides those two, I like Popeyes. Popeyes
like
is
Popeyes?
good. Yeah, I like Popeyes.
Popeyes
Like the
is
crunch
cool.
is good.
That's cool. Popeyes is pretty good. I ask everyone random questions like either Burger King or Taco Bell, whatever.
I love that.
Yeah. What are some of the things that, you know, as a vendor of these terrariums, what's like an issue you come across that you're just like, man, this is an issue for your business?
Well, besides transaction fees,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I guess the biggest one for me currently is my personal like space wise, because like I don't really have an office. My desk is literally under the stairs. I'm like out here Harry Potter styling everything. So everything is just kind of crammed into this small tiny corner, and this stuff takes up space, like supplies and my Pokeballs and like booth decor takes up a lot of like surface area.
Wow.
So I kind of have to work around everything. That's my
Yeah.
biggest thing from crafting. Convention wise, biggest issue is that my stuff can be fragile. So you know how most other artists, they have their booths like stickers and keychains all secured on like a little tall like panel. My stuff is if someone accidentally bumps into my table, it could fall, and I've had that happen before, so it's not very fun. Yeah.
Oh man, they how many did they break?
The first time it happened, I was in Michigan. Luckily, nothing broke because it was like little, like the thin carpet, which was
Got it.
luckily, and my table was lower. But the second time, one of the buttons on the front of the Pokeballs like popped off, and then like there were scratches on it, and I was like, oh no. It was a kid though, so I didn't really
man.
blame them. But sometimes when kids get too close to the booth, they can end up like grabbing it and shaking it. So I'm always like, hi, careful there. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. You just have to be nice to them, right? Because it could be a potential customer.
Yeah.
What are they? Are they glass or acrylic?
They're acrylic, very durable, which is nice. They look a lot more fragile than they are, but I just sometimes I just toss them around. I've dropped a couple of them. They don't really break as long as it's not like heavy impact,
Yeah. And that black piece around,
Yeah.
is that paint?
That is electrical tape. Yeah. Yep.
Are you serious?
Tape. Yep, electrical tape.
No way. Oh wow, I see it.
Yeah.
What about the little black button?
So on this one, these are both acrylic pieces. I used to use wood pieces, but then I was like, you know what, I need to upgrade for a more sleek look, so I ended up going with acrylic. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like this one is wood, and
Got
I painted
it.
it. You can kind of see the paint.
Yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
nah, I gotta upgrade.
Wow. So the bottom piece is acrylic, the top piece is acrylic.
They are both acrylic actually. So it's these are ornament balls actually.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, these
no
are made from
way.
ornament balls. All you gotta do is pull them in half, spray paint the bottom half.
Dude,
and...
you're giving all your secrets away here.
That's okay. I don't gatekeep. It's all right.
That's funny. Everyone we bring doesn't gatekeep. It's so hilarious. Wow, that is awesome. And how do you cut it in half?
So some of them come already in half. They're like the split ones you can just kind of pop together.
Yeah.
Some of them are like a whole thing. I started actually when I tried using an X-Acto knife when I first began, just cutting down the middle, but I could never cut straight. So I gave up on that. I just started spending a little bit more buying the pre-cut ones.
Wow, that is so cool. And let me ask you, where do you buy your supplies? I'm gonna open up an account now. I'm just kidding. Next thing you know, Johnny's Custom Shop, bro. You know, everything.
I fully support that if you want to go.
No, not at all, man. No time for that. What about the plants? Are those aquarium plants or what are they?
So a couple of them I have used with the aquarium plants. None of them on the shop, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
most of those are from like Hobby Lobby, Michaels, Joann's before they closed. R.I.P.
Wow.
But
Oh yeah, Joanne's. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I was so sad
man.
about that. I was like,
You use
no.
a hot gun on there?
The what? Oh yeah, the hot glue. Yes, I
Yeah.
use hot glue, mostly Gorilla Glue, and then E600.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so
sturdy
cool.
kind of grip. Yeah.
So where do you get your little figurines?
The figurines I get them from like a lot of different places.
Yeah.
For ones that it's kind of hard to find, I go to like Pokemon Center. I use Amazon sometimes. GameStop is a great place to just kind of go and be like, hey, I see a box of Pokemon. Let me just snatch.
Oh.
Surprisingly, Five Below actually has.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Not in LA, but when I visited home in Michigan, I went to Five Below. They had Mimikyu, Pikachu, Gengar, everything, and I was like, I'm buying all out. It was like nice. Yeah, I get them from there. Best Buy sometimes has them. Surprisingly, Ross sometimes has them, just like in the
Ross
checkout
has
aisles.
a few,
Yeah.
sometimes from time to time.
Mhm,
Wow.
yeah.
And what's on these? You obviously they go different prices, right? 50, 60.
Yeah.
What's the what's the least you sold one for? You're just like, man, why did I sell it for that much? Like $20?
The lowest I've
Yeah.
ever sold anything was
Yeah.
actually when I first began. I sold them for 30.
No way.
Yeah, but then again, back then the quality was kind of so obviously I had to like kind of go from there. But
Yeah.
the lowest I've sold in person, I think, probably 50. I think
50? The
Yeah.
newest ones?
no,
the
this
latest
was
model?
like I think last year.
Got it.
I was at Ronin Expo, and I don't remember what happened. I think they had bought a couple. They were, oh no, yeah, they had ordered stuff from me online, like 3 things from me online. They were like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna see you at Ronin Expo," and they came by, and I was like, "Thanks," like give them, yeah,
So like $50?
yeah,
For
50
for
bucks.
one?
For one, yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't like a super new model. It was like a medium model, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was also grateful because they bought like a lot of stuff in my shop before that, so I was like, there you go. Yeah.
Gotcha. Are these all about the same size or different sizes on these?
Yes, so all my Pokeballs standard size is 4 inches in diameter. I recently just started making these smaller ones. They're about 3.5 inches, like much smaller. They're on my Instagram. I'm gonna bring them to my next few events.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so this fits in your hand perfectly like the size of a Pokeball.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, that is so awesome. So awesome.
Thank you.
And how much money did you invest? I mean, how much money is invested in the business now?
I'm really bad at keeping track, but I do know between supplies
Yeah.
and time, I spend more time on this.
Okay.
But supplies can start anywhere as low as $500 a month to over $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you first started, how much did you spend?
Maybe $200.
$200?
Yeah, because I wasn't quite sure what I was looking for. I was like, let me just. The Pokemon figures cost the most, and then the plants, I went to Dollar Tree at first because I didn't know where to go. I was like, Dollar Tree, let's go. I see cheap stuff over here. I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
the quality isn't there.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Now we're on your Instagram there, right? Hey man, you have some good followers. You have 1,000.
It's aight.
That's cool.
It's
Hey,
aight.
anything over 1,000, you're pretty popular.
Yeah.
You know, we just hit 1,000, so we're like, oh yeah, I'm on the
Yay!
popular club. You know. Yeah.
I love
So, your biggest event, what would you
Mm-hmm.
say your biggest event has been?
Biggest as in
Like, I mean, a big convention. You know, I know SoCal's a big one. Is that your biggest one? Or have you done
So far, my biggest one has to be LA Comic Con, actually.
LA Comic Con?
Yeah, like the official Comic Con
Yeah,
ones. I've only been to that one once.
Yeah.
It was huge. I was also very loud too because we were near the stage.
Yeah.
But anime events, the biggest one have to be Anime Los Angeles. Sorry, because I haven't really stepped out of the LA area recently. But until the next few, then I'm gonna actually go to Vegas and like Pasadena area, like
yeah.
further out. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And then are those hair clips?
Yes, those are actually hairpins.
You still make those?
Yeah, I do,
Oh.
and I'm going to be revealing them at my next event.
Oh.
And
Do you have any
Yeah.
Pikachu ones?
I
Squirtle
do.
ones? You
I do. I do, yeah.
Oh, my daughter's gonna love one of those. I have to. Where's your next show? Vegas, right?
Yes, Anime Las Vegas, March 29th to 30th.
Got. Oh, there they are. So there's your list. So you got Anime Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Level Up Expo. Oh wow. Then you have AniFest.
Yes.
in Torrance. SoCal Gaming Expo. Sin City Anime Vegas. Wow, that is so cool. Yeah. So when's the one in Torrance?
That one is April 19th. It's a one-day event.
One-day event. Cool. Is that indoor, outdoor?
The artists are outdoors. They provide canopies, which is nice. And then indoors they have events and other exhibit hall.
Wow.
I've actually never been to that one. That'd be my first time there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice. You been to SoCal?
I have not. Actually, all of these are going to be my first time attendance. Yeah.
That's a pretty nice lineup.
I'm excited. 100%. Also nervous.
Yeah, I bet, man. You know, after just doing small. I mean, you're saying these are the first time you've ever been to these, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that must be. Yeah, it'll definitely be. So what is the future for, your shop or your business?
I would love to keep doing this full time. So primarily I would make sales and attend cons. Just, go sign up and do my best to get into the artist alley and attend those. In the future, I'd also love to upgrade and keep my shop going, because I kind of suck at that, because I tend to focus on...
When you say, you mean your website, right?
Yes, sorry,
okay.
My website, my bad. Yeah, I tend to focus on just making things and storing it for the conventions, and I end up neglecting my shop. This is actually the first shop update I've had in a couple months.
Oh, wow.
So in the future, I would love to just actually put more focus on it. That way people can see it online and buy it in case they can't go to the cons and all that.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have a beginning to start, like real how it starts.
It's funny because I've only recently just gotten back into reels. I'm horrible at making content. I'm good at consuming content.
I seen the one you uploaded today. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh my god, it took so long.
Really?
Yeah, I love to edit videos, but it just takes so much time.
It does take a lot of time.
Yeah, and I'm really bad at hopping on the trends. Like, I'll see a video, I'm like, oh, I could do this trend. I save it, then I forget it, and I don't do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I have a whole list on my phone of what, artist trend or, trends for my videos and Pokemon-related things I can make. I just keep the list going, and I don't really get to it.
Sounds like someone needs to help.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's at
No. I just messed. Do you keep inventory of this in your little your space for your Pokemon shop? You keep inventory, like, let's just say, you know what, I'm gonna save 20 Pokeballs for this event, or are you building them as the events come?
It's kind of a mix. I kind of build it. So right now I have about maybe 50 to 70-ish left over from Anime Los Angeles. Okay. And I'm just constantly adding more to it. For storing wise, I label them, so I try to bring 4 each to say 4 Squirtles, 4 Bulbasaurs, 4 Pikachus to each event. Of the most popular ones, obviously, but less popular ones, maybe 1 or 2. I keep them in the what are they called? Ornament storage boxes. They have dividers in it, and if they don't, you just buy dividers and make it. Yeah, which is super nice. And then I just kind of label it by type. So I store it, maybe one box is water type, another box is fire type, another box is just starter evolutions.
Oh, that is so cool. So you label them.
Yeah,
that is so cool. What's the hottest seller? What Pokemon?
Ooh, honestly, it kind of changes based on the convention.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can keep track, if you remember, you can say, oh man, I sold nothing but so many Pikachus. Pikachu's like my hot seller. If you can remember.
It's funny you say that because Pikachu never really sells like that. Maybe you sell 1 or 2 Pikachus of an event. Yeah. What? The top 3 have to be Gengar, Mimikyu, and Bulbasaur.
I can see Gengar.
Yeah, Gengar up there.
Mimikyu and Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur, yeah.
Wow.
Bulbasaurs usually sell out really quickly because who doesn't love Bulbasaur,
Yeah. No, and it kind of goes with the theme, right?
Yeah, the color palette and everything.
So how many would you say you sell at an event like a Bulbasaur, 5, 6, 7? Well, you keep 3 of each, right? You take 3 of each?
3 to 4 each, sometimes more, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes, not really often, but I remember Anime Los Angeles of 2023, I brought maybe I think it was 13 or 14 Bulbasaurs, and they sold out. All 14 Bulbasaurs. It was a 4-day event, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah.
Man. So on a weekend or an event, what would you say profit is outside of all the fees and your time?
After fees and supplies and all that, I would say maybe one convention I can make about 3,000. I think that also depends though. 2-day usually, yeah.
Oh wow.
But that also depends because say if it's not like an anime or Pokemon target audience, maybe it's not maybe it's just slower. For example, this past Anime Los Angeles, it was slower because of the fires that were happening. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Most people had to forfeit their passes. They couldn't come, unfortunately.
Oh man. Wow. And then for the business, I'm surprised you don't have any hats, any shirts.
It's funny that you bring this up because
gear.
I'm always so we had this idea of getting my logo on stuff and designing t-shirts and everything. I would have to get like a Cricut Maker or like a Silhouette Cameo, one of those, but it's an idea. Yeah, I just have to design it on my iPad that I just broke. Yeah, no, I mean in the future I would love to say I have him, like my husband, wear my logo and just walk around. Hey, come to my booth. Stop by the booth.
Sure. Or QR code in the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
So people could just be like, "What's that?"
And just scan it.
Scan it, and it goes to your shop, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that would be so cool.
That.
So
yeah.
I think it's. I think. Do you ever plan on getting like a storefront or something?
I've thought about that. Yeah.
I think it'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you graduated right from your space.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then if you want to do this full time, I think it'll be so cool.
I would love to. I've thought about. For smaller spaces, those kiosks they have in the middle of malls, especially during holiday season, people have little decorations.
Right. Yeah.
For Christmas shopping, people are always flocking the mall and all that. So these also do make good last minute gifts. Oh shoot, my friend likes Pokemon. I can get this. Yeah.
Who doesn't know Pokemon? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Or at least know or heard about Pikachu.
No, 100%.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Well, I appreciate you coming down and giving us all this info, So don't be surprised if you see Johnny's Custom Shop.
I won't be. I will even send you.
Johnny's
I will promote you.
I'll even send you. Man, anything else you would like to say to the audience, before we wrap it up?
I guess I can promote the upcoming events that we all just talked about.
Yeah.
I guess whenever this podcast comes out, it'll be SoCal Gaming Expo.
Yeah.
It'll be in Pasadena. I will be in the exhibit hall.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. And how do you? I'm horrible at pronouncing names. Yuemi.
Yeah, you can just call it Yuemi Custom Shop. And
no, but your name?
Oh, my name. You good? My name is Yue. So
Yue? Just Yue?
Yue. Yep, just like the letters. And have you ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I know.
Yeah, there's a character in there called Princess Yue. So yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Yue, thank you so much for coming down and sharing all your information. And maybe you'll inspire someone to start, their own little custom shop, making Pokeballs and making video game handheld consoles and stuff like that.
That'll be awesome.
So hopefully we get to see you. I'll be at SoCal Gaming Expo. Definitely, I'll see you. And actually, before we end, I actually got you a shirt.
Oh, wow.
And those are Mexican Pokemon cards. They're not authentic,
really?
yeah. So don't try to get them graded.
Oh.
Okay. Don't try to get them graded. You're not going to get anything for them. But, I handed out some of those to my buddies who came to the podcast.
Oh, wow.
So, but I appreciate you coming and sharing all this information, and hopefully I'll see you at SoCal Gaming Expo or at Anifest. Is it Anifest?
Anifest, yeah.
Anifest, yeah. So hopefully, thank you guys for sticking in till the end. Until the next one, Retro Ground out.